Hey guys, how's it going? Julian here. Welcome back to Sgcarmart Drives. I am with Victor Kwan right here. He's the MD for Wearnes Prestige Division. So Victor, thank you very much for your time. So of course I understand that first and foremost, you aren't just the MD for Wearnes Prestige Divisions, and Prestige Division also includes a lot of different brands like Aston Martin, Bentley, Bugatti, Pininfarina, and even Rimac, if I'm not wrong, right?
That's right.
So you're not just the MD for Wearnes. I think more importantly and more interestingly, you have a doctorate in social media, am I right to say that?
Word of mouth on social media, that's right. That's my research topic.
So can you please, before we delve into the whole MD thing, tell us a little bit more about that?
I've been in the car business for 20 over years, right? So somewhere in between, in 2013 or 14, I actually went to do a PhD. You are definitely not the first one to ask. A lot of people are asking, why a PhD? I don't think you need a PhD to sell car, right? But I guess the reason, aside from midlife crisis, is been in business for so many years. You've been doing the practice of business, but there's a whole area where it's a theoretical, conceptual part of business. Right? That I had strong curiosity, and that's why I decided to do research.
Correct me if I'm wrong, you're a father of two.
Yep.
So not just as a full-timer, being a father of two, how do you manage this? How do you manage work and manage to do a thesis? For so many years.
Yeah. You'll be surprised, Before I embarked on a PhD journey, somebody was telling me that you need to somehow, in a week, find an additional 10 to 12 hours, right?
Okay.
On the surface, it looks impossible, right? How can I squeeze another 10 to 12 more hours? But if you really think about it, it's possible. For example, you have the lunchtime, you have night, you have weekends.
Okay.
But yes, you do have to work almost 7 days a week. If you really look at little pockets of time, it is possible to squeeze that 10-12 hours more a week. And that's what I did for many years.
Well, it's a very challenging thing, man. I don't even know if I can squeeze 5 more hours from my daily schedule. I assume you have to be very consistent, right? I mean, it's a thesis, you got to submit to the professor and all that kind of stuff, right?
Yep. For a thesis, right, you have to form a whole committee, right? Including your supervisor, and you're accountable to the committee, right? So there are deadlines you have to hit, there are schedules you need to stick to, right? So yes, you have to be very disciplined.
Okay, prior to this, prior to getting your PhD and all that, you were already with JLR. Your MD as JLR, right? That was when we already met there.
That's right. Yep.
Then after that, you went to Automotive, if I'm not wrong.
Right.
And then you came back. So how did this happen actually?
I wanted a break from car retail business to
Okay.
also spend more time to focus on my PhD, right? On my research and everything else. So I left Wearnes for a while, completed my dissertation, and an opportunity arose at just the right time, right? The Prestige MD position was available in Wearnes, and I completed my dissertation, and I have actually handled and managed almost, in fact, every single segment in the car business.
Yes.
From the mass market to premium to luxury. But now, this position in super luxury was available, and it's like one segment that I've never had my hand on before. So it was a little bit too good a chance to give up, to be able to complete the puzzle.
I see. Interesting. Okay, so on that topic, this whole super luxury segment and then how the opportunity came about, what are some of the unique challenges you face in meeting the expectations of all these ultra high net worth individuals who have this access to this plethora of luxury options?
First thing first, when you are managing the operations for this cluster of brands, right, it's very different because the numbers are very small. Right? Your workshop throughput numbers are very small, your sales volume is very niche and very small. So there is a whole complete different art in managing small business.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And it is way more challenging than how it appears to be, right? So we will have to master the art of doing so. There is a lot of double hatting.
Yes.
Right? There is also a lot of consolidation of roles. It is a whole art and science behind it. How we manage the customers. Obviously, this group of customers, they are ultra high net worth.
Yes.
They are of a different echelon in society.
Yes.
But at the same time, they are actually just, after a while, after you interacted with them, right, you will realize that they are just human like me and you.
I see.
Right? They have basic human needs. They look for basic human values as well.
Yes.
Things like integrity, honesty, keeping your promise. The key is to not be overwhelmed by what they have, right? Appreciate what they have, but not be overwhelmed by it, and interact with them just like how you interact with any other human beings.
I'm really curious about handling these high net worth individuals. I can only assume that at your position and with all the different brands that you're dealing with, there must be some form of expectation, not just from yourself, but from your team and also from the customer's point of view. Is there any form of pressure every time you have to talk to them, every time you have to face them?
When it comes to expectation, obviously, first thing dealing with special, very niche customer, we need to know every one of them by name.
Okay.
And probably not only that, we probably even need to know their extended family as well. Right?
I see.
So it's always a test that we implement on ourselves occasionally, right? There is this customer, do you know his name? Yeah, sure, but do you know his spouse's name?
Yeah.
You know, do you know his children's name? Not easy at times, but this is what we always try to achieve.
Well, that's really interesting, man. That's really interesting. That means for a new customer, say I've never gotten anything from Prestige Division before, right? And I walk in and say I decide to come alone the first time, you know who I am. And if I bring my wife the next time round, I mean, y'all will have to start from scratch, assumingly, because you will never know my wife's name. You know what I mean?
Sometimes we can do some online research on our customers.
I see.
Right? For some customers.
Yes.
For many, obviously, there are no information, and if it's the first time you are meeting the wife, then you better make sure that that's the second time she walks in. You know her, right?
Of course.
First time is forgivable, but second time it's not.
Okay, so enough about customers. Let's talk a little bit about the brands. Right? I mean, you know, time has changed a lot of things. Things are evolving. There's a lot of social media presence. And of course, digital is also one of the key components in selling and buying cars and all that. What we really want to find out is how do you actually ensure that each of the brand's essence is maintained while meeting the evolving demands of the luxury market, especially when you have so many different brands. And of course, all these different brands require deep understanding.
Obviously, if you look at the brands in our portfolio, right, every one of them has pretty distinctive brand persona, brand equity that has been built for more than 100 years.
Yes.
Aston Martin, Bentley are more than 100 years. I think it's our job as a local dealer to continue that brand persona and live up to the name, right? For example, Bentley has almost this very stately feeling to it. Right?
Okay.
Aston Martin is like a gentleman sports car, but a gentleman with a little bit of an edge.
Yes.
Right? Bugatti is really the automotive, the car collector kind of customer.
Yes.
We have no issues with maintaining the DNA of each brand because we have separate team running each brand.
I see.
Right?
Okay.
While they are double heading, they are always double heading within that brand most of the time. Right? So each brand has their own team, and because they are doing nothing but that brand most of the time, they shouldn't have any issue.
Okay. But if that's the case, I mean, like you said, right? Each brand, they are different in their own ways, which means also each brand will have their own unique target audience. How do you sort of analyze the market trends and consumer behavior to sort of justify or identify new customer segments and expand the brand's reach without really diluting its exclusivity? Because, I mean, you did say that each, it's a very small market, it's very niche, right? But I assume the brand will sort of want to get as many customers as possible. But how do you do that without diluting its exclusivity?
This is one interesting challenge that almost every luxury brand around the world face, right? You want to keep a sense of exclusivity.
Yes.
Exclusivity comes with small numbers.
Yes.
But just like any other business, you want to grow.
Yes.
So where's the magical number where you can grow to but still maintain exclusivity?
Yes.
Like you rightly mentioned earlier on, the number of people in Singapore who can buy a car from this very small group of brands, right, is limited, of course, right? And actually, we have done a very comprehensive research on our own. We are able to nail down with a good percentage of certainty how many people are there in Singapore who can actually afford to and want to buy a car in these brands.
Okay.
Right? The number is not big. Okay. Now, the lease is an ever-growing lease, of course. There will be new wealth, there will be new people coming in, there will be new people shifting homes and coming to Singapore to stay, right? It's our job to continue seeking out these people who are new to either the country or to the segment. But you're not going to see exponential growth.
Yes.
You're just going to see a slow, gradual growth. One thing we always do, you have these magazines like, they will publish at least on the top 50 names in Forbes,
Yes.
these. And the test we always do on our own is look at this list. How many of them are on our database? Right?
Okay.
It won't be 100%, of course,
Yes.
but 80%, 90%. That's how we gauge whether we have been effective as an organization or how effective our marketing and awareness and exposure has been. Yep.
Interesting. Yes. So actually, Forbes
Yeah.
magazine. Because I always thought all these Forbes magazine. I mean, even though it's true, I always thought it's just for juicy news. It wouldn't be useful for anything. So actually, it does have its use.
Yeah. It does have its use.
Okay, so right now we're going to head back to the office. What we're going to do is we'll have a second segment of the interview. I think that is the fun part, I would say.
Sure.
So we'll head back there, we'll play a bit of race game, have a bit of fun, have a bit of laughs, and then I'll ask you more questions.
Sure.
All right.
Looking forward.
Hey guys, so now we are back at the studio at Sgcarmart's office, and of course Victor is right here beside me doing his practice runs for this race that we will have in a bit. But for now, we're still going to ask him a couple of questions, perhaps slightly more personal, if I may. So the first question that people will want to know, that I would want to know, is what exactly drove you to want to lead brands like Bentley and Aston Martin and Bugatti, and more of it is what really drives your passion?
I have managed all different brands across different segments over 20 years. The last piece of the puzzle, like I mentioned earlier, is the super luxury, right?
Yes.
Bentley, Aston Martin. What made me very keen to try my hand on this segment of brands, right? Because volume is very small.
Okay.
Even your workshop, because car park is very small, your workshop throughput will be small, volume will be small. There is an art to managing small business.
Okay.
There's both a science and an art to managing small businesses.
Okay.
And I was very curious whether I'll be able to manage this art form, right? And that was actually what drive me on in this segment. Yeah.
Curiosity. I think for someone like me, I don't think I would drive to do it because of curiosity. I think I'll probably be more scared than anything else.
Obviously, there's some fear at the beginning.
I can only imagine.
Yeah, but you will overcome it.
Okay, I tell you what, so why don't we get down to practicing a little bit first before the race. Victor is blue, I'm green.
Yep.
I haven't done this in a while, so I'll have to go slow and easy.
In case you're not aware, I already have been practicing for very long.
I think the trick to it is around hairpin, right? You might have to accelerate a little bit more so that it'll over a little bit. It'll oversteer a little bit, yeah. So you accelerate a little bit more, so you'll come out nicely.
Wowza.
Otherwise, you'll be knocking into the barriers quite often. But don't worry, you're not the only one who struggled with this. There were a lot of people who struggled with this, including myself. The only difference is I got a lot of time to practice. Yeah. Victor came in about 20 minutes ago, so you gotta give him some benefit of the doubt.
What I do when playing golf, I'm gonna use hand at times.
As you can see, I'm overlapping.
Yeah, it's really bad.
I still have it, man. I still have it.
We get it!
I get what you mean by...
Yeah, you got to accelerate a little bit around hairpin so that you'll oversteer a little bit. So Victor, what do you actually do during your free time?
Practicing race cars. But I've been telling you, right, the last couple of years, I've been doing my Ph.D.
Yes.
So I'm not sure what's your definition of free time.
But there must be something that you enjoy, a hobby.
Yeah.
Unless you're telling me writing thesis is the hobby, then that's...
That's interesting, but I do play football. I watch football.
Okay.
And obviously, with the little time left, I could also spend it with my children as well.
Of course.
I like running.
Okay.
I run very often, probably about 4 or 5 times a week.
Oh, that's fantastic.
I enjoy it because it's really a me time, right?
Yes,
it's
I
really
agree.
a me time.
I agree.
Unlike football, which is a team sports, running is a really selfish thing. Plug on my music and then I really enjoy it.
What's the team that you support? Who do you support rather?
Liverpool.
Ooh.
But it's not easy, and I don't often confess because when things goes bad, you can suffer quite a bit.
Yeah. No battery. It dies after once in a while. There.
Good. Now time to catch up.
There. How do you think electrification will ultimately impact these luxury brands?
Two parts to it, right? One part is whether we like it or not, electrification seems to be no choice, right?
Yes.
The world will have to reach there at some stage, completely, 100%. So we have to accept it whether we like it or not. And it's the right way to go, I believe. But yes, I do believe that one aspect of it is that when it comes to electrification, cars may become a bit more generic. After all, there is no differences. There are not many differences in terms of engine capacity, the engine sound, engine noise. Things will become slightly more homogeneous compared to an internal combustion engine. As a luxury brand, there are lesser things you can talk about in terms of performance. Right? But then there are still many aspects that you can build your brand equity on. History, there is a story to the brand, right? You can still emphasize. There are still a lot of areas in the car, the interior, the dashboard, the seats, steering wheel, that can still encompass the luxury element or the brand DNA into that. It's just that engine itself will become less of a talking point.
So now the questions are done. No. I will tell you go, then you go.
Okay.
There you go. Okay. So now we're done with all the questions. So we will watch Victor Kwan race now. So on go, yeah?
Okay.
3, 2, 1, go.
Okay. Wow, if I drive like this, I'm going to lose all my demerit points.
He's been practicing for a long time, by the way. Behind the scenes, he's been practicing. So, moment of truth. Is it going to be here? Or is it going to be here? Almost there, almost there. Okay, admittedly, it's quite smooth. And he crosses the line. He crosses the line. It was the last hiccup.
How long?
41.9.
41 Charmaine is good, man.
Confidence is key.
Yep.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, go. So now it is the actual race time for Dr. Victor Kwan here, and obviously he has been practicing a lot already behind the scenes. Will he be able to beat the timings here? One way to find out. You're almost there. Yes. Almost there, almost there. And he crosses the line.
I think it's slightly better than the first one.
So the timing that Dr. Victor Kwan got is 37.88. It's a good number for 4D. But it goes the lowest. So, Charmaine, if you're watching this, you got someone worse than you. So, in a way, you actually made my job easier so I don't have to squeeze in, right? We just put it straight here. It'll still,
I can appreciate that. 14 is very good, you know.
Yeah, 14 is very
14
good.
is very good.
Can you imagine 12.5 too? So, Victor has finished the race. His timing is now 37.88. He might be the last, but who knows, right? There could be another guy coming in.
Yeah,
it could be worse.
You need to get more people here.
But anyway, yes, Victor, any last words for us?
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you.
I've enjoyed this, and I'll see you at the showroom soon.
Excellent. So thank you very much for watching, guys. That is the interview with MD Wearnes Prestige Division. Victor, thank you again very much for your time. Please do not forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel and comment in the comment box below and let us know what you think about this interview and what you think about Prestige Division itself. Also, you can follow us on TikTok. Our handle is @Sgcarmart. In the meantime, stay safe, be well. Bye-bye. I think it, of course.
So it's not one take, right? So means the time can be adjusted. Especially when I call this.